Riders, today we're here to talk about river crossings. They often strike fear into the hearts of many riders, but there's some basic things you can do to make your life a bit easier and help us look after the environment at the same time. First of all, you only use proper river crossings. Those are ones where you can clearly see that the track goes into the river and comes out the other side. If you use some random section of the river to cross, not only might you cause erosion damage to the riverbank, animals like frogs and fish live in the rivers, and if you ride in the rivers in the wrong manner or in the wrong place, we can disturb their habitat. And don't go riding in stream beds, because some streams supply drinking water for local towns. Ideally, you should let someone else have a go at crossing the river first so you can check out their line. But if you've got to be the first person to cross, there's some things you can do to make sure you get to the other side. So it's important to take time and have a good look at the river crossings. You're looking for signs of depth and rough terrain like rocks, sticks and logs under the water surface. What you really want to look for is the faster flowing section of water. The deeper sections are slower flowing, and if possible you should avoid them. So once you've selected your line, you should try and ride in the standing attack position so that if you hit anything rough under the water surface, you can use your legs to try and control the bike. You should be in first gear and using a constant throttle, and then use the clutch to control and smooth out the flow of power to the back wheel. You're also likely to cause less damage to the riverbed. Now, it's important to be positive and always try to ride in a forward direction. You should focus on the far side where you want to get to, look in that direction and keep using the power and the clutch to keep you moving forward. You want to avoid going too fast because you don't want the water to come up over the front wheel and affect your vision. If things go wrong, then you might need to put a foot in the water, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a far better alternative getting a wet foot than ending up on the bottom of the creek. Keep the motor going though, slip the clutch, see if we can take off again. Yeah, just nice and slow, look to the bank, stand up again if you can, and through we get. If you're unsure as to whether the crossing is too deep or flowing too fast to cross safely, then you should get off your bike and wade in and check it out if you think that's a safe option. A basic rule of thumb is, if it's much more than knee deep and flowing swiftly, then it's probably too deep to ride across. If it is deep and flowing fast and you don't want to push it across, as another option, it is possible to just sit down and use constant throttle and slip the clutch a fair bit and just ride across very slowly. If you do all these things, you should be able to successfully cross the river without any drama. However, you should be prepared for the eventuality that you might drown your bike, so you need to pack the correct tools and learn how to dewater your bike so you don't get stuck out in the middle of the bush somewhere with a bike that won't go. Overall, remember to check out the crossing before you have a go. Approach it in first gear with constant throttle, use the clutch to control the flow of power to the back wheel, focus on the other bank and try to keep your momentum driving you forwards. If you practice all those skills, then a river crossing will become enjoyable instead of treacherous.